connecting Arizona. 12 News Today starts now.
This morning, a tragedy in our state. 19 selfless firefighters killed. Members of a very elite team lost trying to protect homes. And the sickening news comes as many homeowners in Yarnell realize they've lost everything. At least 200 homes there destroyed.
It's gone. The house was on fire when we left. Everything was there, but it was on fire. So it's gone.
This morning, our broadcast centers around the deadliest wildland blaze for firefighters in more than 35 years.
And we wish it was a good morning. It is a tough one. That is an understatement. Everyone here at 12 News Today has the communities of Prescott and Yarnell in our thoughts and prayers. I'm Kim Covington, and for Emma Jade, who is in Prescott this morning.
And I'm Doug Meehan, and it is one of those mornings where you wake up and hearts are heavy. Not only just here in the state of Arizona, but this news is being spread across the nation this morning, and heartfelt expressions being sent to Arizona from all over the country. But I think if you show the folks the cover of the Arizona Republic this morning, it says it all basically in one word.
One word, tragedy. And
all right, Jacqueline, thank you very much. Hold tight there. We'll check back with you in just a little bit. We got Emma Jade. She's up at the Prescott Fire Department. We got Chris Rapsky. He's going to have more on this elite team of firefighters. And just before we came on the air, we heard that 8,000 acres are now burning up there in Yarnell. And Jimmy, when we walked in this morning, those winds were blowing, I don't know how fast out here in front of our studios. I can't imagine what they were up there. And it was a changing of the winds that caused this thing to really turn, didn't it?
It really did move in.
People, they are considered an elite arm of wildland firefighting. These firefighters are typically sent in first to help cut off the fire.
18 of the 19 firefighters killed in the Yarnell fire were members of the Granite Mountain Hotshot team. They live in neighboring Prescott, and that community's entire fire department, only about 92 people deep, so it's a very close-knit group of people. We now turn to Emma Jade, who's live this morning up there in Prescott, where there really has to be so much sadness up there. Emma, good morning. All right, Emma, we thank you. It's going to be a hard day up there in Prescott. It's going to be a hard day all over the valley, but we need to shine a light on who these men were and what they do.
Yeah, she was just getting ready to talk about that. And
Guys.
You know, that the chief kind of hit upon it a little bit, and folks have to remember, you've got the fire, and then you've got the homes and people and property, whatnot, and between that is this elite group of firefighters in between, trying to basically make a line between the fire and the homes themselves. Have you been able to find out what it is about these guys that makes them want to get there and put their lives on the line? You know, firefighters do it every day, but this is a unique situation.
Yeah, I would definitely say that.
you know, it's tough times like this when everyone wants to help.
So here are some easy ways that you can help. Of course, you can go to the Red Cross at redcross.org. Also, the 100 Club of Arizona is ready to jump in to help. You can visit their website at 100club.org. And as always, you can head over to azcentral.com, search how you can help. And as we mentioned at 10 o'clock this morning, there'll be another update. If we have one sooner, we'll take that to you live. A dark morning here in Arizona. If you are just joining us, we've learned a short while ago that the fire, as Kim just mentioned, 8,000 acres. That's about the third of the size of the island of Manhattan. Now, 19 elite firefighters died in this one yesterday and started quickly, a real quick turn. It's been burning since Friday. We believe reports are that it was created by a lightning strike. What you're watching right now is time-lapse video. You can see how fast it grew by the seconds. It was captured and sent to our newsroom by 12 News viewer Matt Ose.
And we have the Arizona Republic newspaper here, and what can you say?
One word. It really is a tragedy, and we've been following it on social media here, Twitter, the thoughts and prayers that are being extended throughout this country to Arizona, to the families, to the friends of those firefighters that were lost. And think about this as we start this Monday morning, as we begin to grieve the loss of these firefighters. There are firefighters that are still up in Yarnell trying to save homes, trying to save property and trying to save lives. They do this with the knowledge that they have lost 19 of their very own. How they can continue to focus as this and the thought of that, they go into those fires fighting that this morning. We're hearing from the President of the United States. We're hearing from our lawmakers. We're hearing from the governor. We have it all covered here for you this morning with a lot to get to.
Yeah, and
All righty, Jacqueline, we thank you for that live report. We will go back to you as soon as we have more information, and as more information comes into the newsroom, it's going to be one of those mornings.
as we wonder and worry about what's to come in the hours and days ahead, we're just starting to learn more about those Granite Mountain hotshots, that elite unit of Prescott firefighters. This type of fire is exactly what they train for, Doug.
Unfortunately, we do not know who they are yet, names, ages, how long they've been with the force. But what we do know, these guys are in tip-top shape. They are the best of the best. They make up about a quarter of the Prescott Fire Department, and this morning, nearly 20% of that force is gone. The small town of Prescott is in mourning. Everyone hurting, everyone in pain. Every single person either knows one of those firefighters who died or knows someone who lost a loved one yesterday.
Yeah.
As we saw in the picture there, Chris, this is a dedicated group of firefighters varying in age and diverse backgrounds here, but we all do know that they are from the Prescott area, and this is what makes this especially hard today.
Yeah, you know, we were talking a little bit earlier.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It's 5:27 on this Monday morning. I think the emotions about what has happened really starting to sink in. If you're just joining us, if you're just waking up, 19 firefighters killed in the Yarnell fire, and we have crews stationed all over the valley getting reaction and reports from the scene. And I know that you have been putting in some long hours lately.
I know.
We'll get through it here.
And it's just so hard to understand what the town of Prescott is going through. We're talking about 19 firefighters. These 19 firefighters had family. They had friends. All of these firefighters knew each other.
Everybody in that community being affected one way or another, whether or not they were family members or friends or something. Everybody's in pain. Everybody's feeling it this morning. Even if you didn't know anybody up there this morning, I'm sure your hearts are broken.
And President Obama's heart's broken too. Our firefighters take every day on our behalf in Arizona and in communities across this nation. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten. And it is 5:30 coming up, sending thoughts and prayers to the families of the 19 firefighters killed in Arizona.
Emma Jade is up at Prescott Fire Station where these heroes are based. We will have live coverage from the edge of the fire, the powerful pictures and growth the wildfire has made overnight. Plus, we're about to have fire expert Jim Paxton on to update us on the heartbreaking scenarios. What may have gone so horribly wrong with an insider's perspective just ahead. We'll be right back.
Very short window here before the winds pick up again. We're expecting 35-mile-an-hour conditions and very hot conditions for those firefighters.
All right, Jacqueline, thanks.
We'll check with Jimmy on that in just 1 second. Also, Jim Paxton also standing by in studio. He's going to join us up here on the set with an in-depth understanding of exactly what these firefighters go through. Of course, all of our thoughts and prayers are with those close to the Prescott firefighters. We often understand that homes might be lost, but the loss of so many firefighters really has everybody stunned this morning.
Yeah, this morning in Prescott, already a tribute to those brave crews. 19 roses are now intertwined in the fire department's fence, and we sent Emma Jade there to bring us the story from a community left to deal with such deep sadness. Emma?
All right, Emma, thank you. It's going to be a tough morning out there in Prescott, so hang in there. Just to give folks at home some sense of perspective, this is the worst firefighter casualty in a single incident since 9/11, since that awful day in New York. In 1994, the Storm King fire in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, 14 firefighters were killed in that fire. And only before that, in 1933, 29 firefighters were lost fighting a fire in Los Angeles. So just to give you some perspective of how big of a loss this is.
Yeah, and people all over the world sending their condolences on Facebook.
Again, what you were looking at are the very first, or what we were just seeing, were the very first live images that were coming from the scene. These are pictures that were taken yesterday. Here we are now back live overhead in Yarnell with just some awful devastation as a result of this fire that blew up out of control yesterday. Firefighters telling us right now that this is still 0% contained.
Yeah, and we know that 8,000 acres have burned, and we have photographer Jay McSpadden. He said that is 12.5 square miles. I like that he put put that in perspective because that is huge. 12.5 square miles have burned in Yarnell, and we are looking at some of those structures that have burned, 250 structures that have burned. That is half the town of Yarnell gone.
And 20%, nearly 20% of the Prescott Fire Department gone this morning. If you're just joining us, good morning. It's 5:50 here. And again, at morning's first light, the helicopter Sky 12 up over the scene. You can see what appears to be official vehicles winding their way through these neighborhoods. We are just at the beginning of this story, people. This is just the beginning of weeks and weeks of not only investigation, but we also have funerals that we're going to be dealing with here. But this morning, firefighters expected to give us an update around 10 o'clock this morning as to where they are right now. But if we can get a perspective of the weather and how this may play a role in this fire and how it turned so quickly, let's turn it over to Jimmy Q, who's standing by with that perspective. Jimmy?
Connecting Arizona. 12 News Today starts now.